Welcome to the channel. I'm Dani Walker. I'm a former Miss Montana USA and I'm a pageant coach, and today I'm going to teach you how to find appearances. If you enjoy pageant-related content, sustainable fashion, thrifting, travel, or lifestyle vlogs, I hope that you'll consider subscribing and hitting the notifications bell so that you can stay tuned for lots more episodes in the future. And if you're currently preparing for a competition, please check out my free pageant prep course that's linked in the description. Unless you are Miss USA or Miss World or Miss Universe, it's highly likely that you will be booking your own appearances as a title holder. So let's talk about the ways that you can find those appearances. The first way is going to be using the resources that are available to you. Your pageant director might be able to help you find pageant appearances. So that could be one of the first things that you ask them when you sit down after you've gotten your title, is saying, here are the goals that I have for the year. Here are the types of appearances I would like to go on. Do you have resources for that, or do you have already existing networks or connections that I can utilize this year to go on those types of appearances? If you have a local chamber of commerce, they can be an invaluable resource. You can reach out to them because typically they are going to be partnered directly with your city, so official events for your city. And if you connect with them, you're probably going to be able to make some appearances through them. Sometimes your local chamber of commerce will even have a calendar listed on their website, so you can see a list of events. So if there's something you're specifically interested in, you can ask them about that when you reach out to them. If you already have a specific advocacy, platform, or project or social cause that you care about, one easy way to find appearances is to start looking up nonprofit organizations that are associated with that cause or that platform, because it's likely that they're going to be hosting their own events already. You can reach out to them to volunteer or to maybe be a host or an MC for one of their events. That's usually a really easy way to get connected to events. You also want to get creative and think about what your city or your state might be known for. If it's known for parades or festivals or fashion week, you can really be brainstorming appearances in that way, and also incorporate your talents. So if you are a singer or a dancer, think about where you can be showcasing those talents at some of these events, because that could be a really, really great way to introduce yourself to these events and organizations, is by offering a talent that you have and make that available for their event. And of course, be really prepared. Maybe have like a little clip or a snippet, a preview of what you're able to do to be able to send that to them as well. Another thing to think about are any sports. So you want to think about college level and professional level sports, because there's oftentimes going to be events for that. Obviously there's going to be games. Maybe you could sing the national anthem there, but also these sports teams end up doing a lot of community outreach as well. So they might be present at different events and you might be able to partner up with them for different events. Typically, if you're a state title holder and if you're in an area where there's a lot of local pageants that are not affiliated with larger organizations like Miss USA or like Miss America, oftentimes those pageants are looking for volunteers or hosts for their show, or maybe even somebody to come in and share their talent and be a filler for that pageant. So that's another great way that you can find an appearance, is by reaching out to those smaller pageants. Here's one that I love that I think is underutilized, that I think is also actually very, very helpful for just improving your communication skills if you want to keep competing in pageants. Start searching online for local podcasts and news shows, anything that might be maybe a special interest show that would allow you to make an appearance on their podcast or their show, or maybe both, so that you can be really working on your interview skills. You can be promoting maybe your advocacy, you can maybe be promoting your talent, like whatever it is that you want to be doing. That is a really, really great way to be seen. And the way to reach out to these people is simply by sending them a little bit of a bio and communicate to them what value you have to bring to their audience. You got to tell them what is it exactly about you that their audience needs to know, that their audience can benefit from. Of course, going to any schools or after school programs, those are really, really easy appearances to book. Essentially, they're always looking for people to come in and kind of stand in and be that like career day inspiration. So it's like you see these title holders and see the things that they've done and what they can accomplish. And essentially these title holders are inspiration to the children that are a part of these schools and these after school programs. So usually it's very, very easy to find a school or an after school program in your area, reach out to them and say, I want to go in and I want to share this message with the kids, or I want to go in and I want to tutor, or I would really like to read to the children. Things like that are usually pretty easy to facilitate, as well as appearances to hospitals for children. But I will say there's a little caveat with that. Usually there's normally a minimum age requirement for that, and after the global pandemic they really did clamp down on restrictions for visiting children's hospitals, so that might be a little difficult still now, but if that is something that you want to be a part of, that could also be an option as well. I also want you to do your research when it comes to appearances. So look up other title holders, and if you see appearances that they have gone on that you look at and you're like, wow, that is so cool, I would also like to do that. Great. Reach out to that event. Reach out to that organization and tell them, you could even tell them, hey, I saw this other title holder went to your event. I would also like to participate in this, because clearly those events are already working with title holders. So why not you? Now, the last thing I want to mention, I think is important, not if you're just a reigning title holder, but especially if, let's say you're a local title holder or a state queen and you want to move on and you want to compete at a national level, at an international level. A lot of the times, by the time you reach that national or that international level, you've done a lot of work within your community already. So I think that one of the most underutilized types of appearances is creating your own appearance. Yes, you can do that. So let's say, for example, you want to create a used clothing drive in your community. You do not have to look for an organization that is holding used clothing drives. Although there are organizations that exist that do that, if there's not one local to you, take the initiative. Start making a list and write down, what am I going to need to be able to facilitate this type of event, because I want to be a part of this. So don't think that just because something doesn't exist that it can't exist. I've seen contestants get so creative. They've hosted their own charity fashion shows, obviously clothing drives. Maybe they host a confidence workshop. I've seen title holders who have training in martial arts hold their own self-defense workshops, and those are appearances. So if there's something that you're seeing that maybe you just like can't get to because of where you're at, or you don't know of an organization that's local to you for that, take that initiative. Create your own appearance. And of course, if you create your own appearance and you would like to, you can also get the help from other title holders. Maybe if you have sister queens or other queens in your organization, you can also invite them. It's super fun if you're not doing it alone, and you can get the help from your sister queens to help plan, organize, promote. It's a really, really great idea. And also, if you're all sharing about all of this on social media, it's typically gonna help all of your followings to grow online when you're cross-promoting across each other's platforms. My hope for this episode for you is that you'll realize that there are so many appearances that you can go on, and really they're only limited to your creativity. So start brainstorming the things that you want to do for your year and make it happen. Now, I hope that you enjoyed this episode enough to subscribe and also to check out the other recent episodes that I have created. I try to release episodes every single week all about pageant prep and what you can do to accomplish your goals through pageantry. I hope that you'll really enjoy them and that you can apply them in your own life and your own journey. And so here are some other recent ones that I have created that I think would be really helpful to you as well. Thank you so much for joining me for this one though, and I hope to see you very soon.